On this week's episode, we talk about Chat GPT, GTP, you know what I'm talking about. We also talk about the Roman Empire, and we answer your dating questions. Welcome to the Ask a Matchmaker podcast. It's Matchmaker Maria. And look, we are recording in a studio. So, of course, my first guest is my work husband and amazing matchmaker, Louie Felix. Louie, say hi.
Hi, Maria. I'm so excited you have a studio. This is crazy.
I have a sign. Look at the sign. Look how pretty it is. I've checked like 10 times in the last hour that my name is not misspelled.
Like it was yesterday.
Yeah. We were recording on a TV thing, and I caught it before we went live. I was like, can you make sure my last name is correct? And they did. Right. And thank God, because an I was missing. Just so many I's.
Yeah. It's because our names are on the door of a green room for the first time. I've never been in a green room.
Yeah. And anytime I've been in a green room, my name was never on the door.
Yeah.
It was really good, though. That was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Okay, so, today is a hotline episode, which means we're going to take some questions from our amazing listeners.
Okay.
And shout out to all of my listeners. If you want to ask a question in an upcoming episode, just follow the link in the show notes and you'll be redirected to a place where you can record your question. All right, before we do that, though, let's talk about what's happening in the world.
In the world?
Yes.
Okay.
So in the last 2 weeks, well, when I say in the world, I mean like on TikTok.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sure.
You have to prepare me for this stuff.
So have you heard, well, I did prepare you for this because we worked on this as homework, but we have not shared our lists yet. But
this is the list you asked me to prepare. Okay.
So remember I told you that women are asking their boyfriends and their husbands, how often do you think of the Roman Empire?
Right. I saw that on the news also.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the New York Times even wrote about it.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of men think about the Roman Empire a lot, like every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I did ask my husband, and my sister asked her husband, and both of our husbands are Greek. So we asked them, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And both of our husbands said maybe twice a year.
Right.
And I have concluded that the reason why those two Greek men don't think about the Roman Empire as much as non-Greeks, I suppose, because they probably think about ancient Greece every day for the same reasons. I don't know.
Do you think they do, really?
I mean, I listened to this one guy say on TikTok, why he thinks about the Roman Empire every day. And he goes, so you mean to tell me that when you go to a bank and you see columns, you don't think about the Roman Empire? And I'm like, I've never thought about the Roman Empire when I look at a government building.
Mm-mm.
But I do think about look at these beautiful Corinthian columns.
I think about something totally different when I see a column.
What do you think about?
I mean, the obvious thing, right? I don't know, a big, long, column.
Okay, so I asked Louie. I love that, by the way. I asked Louie to think about what he thinks. I think your phone's right there.
Is it? Okay, here it is.
So I asked Louie to come up with a list of what he thinks on a daily or weekly basis. I also made up a list, and now we're going to share it with each other.
Okay, but mind you, I don't know about this trend. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I know. I told you to do this before I told you anything about the Roman Empire.
Yeah, but I don't even know what this is. And so I couldn't include anything that had to do with my home life,
That's right.
work
I said,
life.
What you cannot include anything about work, home, or your kids.
I don't know how comfortable I feel about disclosing this list publicly. This is kind of intimate.
You want me to go first?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you go first.
All right. I came up with 10 things.
Or we could take turns.
No. I came up with 11 things.
I came up with a lot more than that. I don't know what I was thinking, but go ahead.
All right. So the first one I think about, Thai iced tea with boba.
Thai iced tea?
I think about this every hour of every single day because it's a true addiction. Okay. And I've allowed myself, going to Greece this year for 2 months was amazing because it was I'm away from my addiction.
Wait, do you drink this every day? Or you just think about it every day?
I think about it every day.
Boba?
Yeah.
That's you have boba on the East Coast? I thought that was a West Coast thing.
Okay. New Jersey has a lot of things, okay? We also have boba.
I don't think it tastes the same.
It doesn't matter. I think about it all the time. I'm addicted. And when I went to Greece for 2 months, I felt finally, they don't sell this here. I'm released from this and it's great. And then yesterday we go out, you and I, and you're like, oh, let's get boba tea. And I'm like, all right. Do you notice I only drank half of it too? I was like, just be calm.
But you didn't even
Chill.
get like the real boba thing. You got the coconut thing or
I know, because
coconut
they didn't
flavor.
have Thai iced tea. They had like
I had Thai iced tea.
it said milk tea. That's Thai iced tea.
That's Thai.
If it doesn't say Thai,
okay, Thai iced tea is very specific. But when you think about boba, it's usually like a milk tea boba, right? I mean, everybody who's watching or listening to this will agree with me that milk tea. You'll see it in the comments.
we're spending too much time talking about
Okay,
this. Okay,
sorry.
go to yours. Give me one.
Well, now I don't want to talk about mine because they're like so much more serious than yours. The first thing I have on my list is I think about death and what happens to you after you die. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I turned 51 this year. So that my first thought is like, oh my God,
You're
how much
allowing
life do
the
I have left?
intrusive thoughts to seep in. Relatable. It's totally fine.
But you think about boba and I think about death. Like, what does that say?
I didn't say that my list is like in order. Okay, my second thing on my list, the show Nip Tuck. Do you remember the show Nip Tuck?
Oh my God, that's so, your stuff is so random.
I think about this once a week. If people who liked Nip Tuck, I refuse to believe, don't think about that show at least once a week.
I watched it and I liked it.
You don't think about it once a week?
No, I haven't thought about Nip Tuck in 10 years.
But you thought about it for 10 years after it was done.
No, I'm thinking about it now because you brought it up.
You will think about it more. Okay, what's your next one?
Well, mine, okay.
Is it another intrusive thought?
It is. So I'm not going to give you a stupid one. Okay, so I think about like, I wish I could eat McDonald's or fast food every day. Like I think about that all the time.
What's your order at
Because
McDonald's?
my metabolism is slowed down, so I can't eat this stuff anymore. But if I could eat McDonald's every day, I would.
What do you like at McDonald's?
Oh my God! Of course, a Big Mac and a quarter pounder with cheese. Like I would eat both in one sitting if I could.
I don't like Big Macs.
Okay.
I'm a Whopper girl.
Whopper.
Mm.
That's not good.
If someone put this on online dating profile, would you swipe on them?
If they like a Whopper.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know that would prohibit me from.
Do you know how many
dating
people
someone.
would? Anyway. Yeah. Okay. All right. Obviously, this is like the most obvious one for me. I think about Eurovision every single day.
Okay.
And this is like similar to people who like, I think, memorize like soccer stats or
But that
football
makes
stats
sense.
or baseball stats. I think about Eurovision every day.
But that makes sense because I know you.
Yeah.
Right? Boba, no sense.
Okay, give me another one.
Zero. Well, okay, I'm going to give you a random one too. I think about Britney Spears like every day, just
Every
because
day.
she's on my feed for some reason, and then people talking about her are on my feed every day for some reason. And there's so many conspiracy theories surrounding Britney Spears. I don't know if you know this.
Do you think she gave birth to Paris Hilton's baby?
I've never heard that one, but
That
I
was
love
the
it.
most recent conspiracy
I think that's
theory
an
I
awesome one. Yeah, I believe it.
heard. Okay. I think about living on a cruise ship for 3 months a year. And my husband also thinks
Every
about
day you
this
think about this.
every week. And my husband also thinks about this every week. This is how I know I married well. Because him and I have the same retirement plan.
I'm looking at what else I put on here. Okay, I'm gonna pass through all the boring stuff that I think about all day. Of course, I'm sure we're gonna have a mutual thought every single day.
Okay.
Because what I'm about to say, you're gonna probably say you think about this every day also.
Tell me.
How is Trump able to run for president again? How is that even possible? Like, I seriously think about this every single day.
Are you talking about my daily disgust every day? Okay. I don't know.
I wonder how many people listening to this right now or watching this have this same thought. Like, how is it even possible?
I don't even care that he's running. What I think about every day is like, I have a neighbor, not in my street, but like 2 streets away, who has a Trump flag outside still, like right now. And also, like, he's insanely popular among people who vote that ticket. I don't know if they'll vote for him in the general election, but he's insanely popular in like this one subset of people.
Right.
And I'm like, really? Like, after everything, after all these people that are going to jail after January 6th, that's still your guy.
Right.
Holy smokes.
Well, if you went to jail for someone, wouldn't he still be your guy?
No.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
I guess it's funny because we meet people that are conservative at work. I hate to call them Republicans because I don't know how much of Trump's policies are Republican, but we do meet people that are conservative at work all the time. And some of them are our clients. And my favorite question to ask all these years is like, okay, you are conservative. Can you please elaborate what makes you conservative? And it's never about like economic policy, which I think is like, well, that makes sense, right? It's always something about like, well, I believe in traditional marriage. And I'm like, well, okay. Like, is someone preventing you from marrying who you want to marry? Like,
yeah.
Like, what I don't, it's like, we try to have a conversation. It's fine. It's like, but it's like, it's not fine. I'm like, okay, I have to find someone who thinks like you. And that's the only reason I ask, like, what is your definition of conservatism? Because I've met people that I have to match that might think like you. That's my job.
Right.
But also there's going to be people that vote conservative that only vote conservative because they like less taxes.
Right.
They're not going to agree with anything you just said.
Right.
And I can't match you with them now. It doesn't matter that you vote the same. You don't.
So all this is getting way too deep, but was
deep.
it on your list also?
No.
Oh.
But
It should
Mark
be.
Ruffalo is on my list.
Mark Ruffalo.
He's not
You
even
have a random
on my
list.
cheat sheet. I just think about how, like, I just think about him.
Now,
I just think about him.
This is what is in the head of Matchmaker Maria.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo.
I just like, oh, I wonder how he's doing
Boba.
today.
And what was the other thing? I don't remember.
The show Nip Tuck.
Yeah, the show Nip Tuck. Wow.
Okay, I've got another one for you. The parents in Easy A, which is Stanley Tucci.
Okay.
But like that's goals for me.
It started to make sense. At first, it was another random item.
Oh, I think about the
but
movie
anything
Easy.
Stanley Tucci with you. makes
Anything with
sense.
Stanley Tucci, sure. But like specifically his character, him and his wife, those characters in Easy A, that is the relationship that I aspire not only for me and my husband to have together, but for me and my husband to have with our children. Like, we're not your friends, we're your parents, but also feel free to come with to us with any
But look
problem
at how
you might
much
have.
shit those kids get into. I mean, look at all the shit she gets into in that movie. Because the parents are just like, oh yeah, smoke pot. Yeah, easy going. Like, who cares? Oh, have fun. How's your day? Like,
You know, don't ruin this for me.
there really wasn't a parenting aspect to it. It was just like the cool.
I just like
they're
that
the cool
kitchen
parents.
scene. I just love that kitchen scene when they're like talking to her. I think about that a lot.
And what happens in that kitchen scene? Why was that so? What was going on there? She got in trouble for something. What did she get in trouble for?
Don't ruin this for me, okay?
And they were just like, well, you're your own girl. You make your own decisions. You go.
Give me another one of yours.
When is this writer strike going to end?
You think about that every day?
I do. I think about it every single day.
Mm,
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah. Because I like TV. I mean, I like to watch cool stuff. And I feel like I have anxiety because I feel like nothing's being written right now.
Mm,
Or maybe there's a lot of stuff being written. It's just not being produced.
yeah, that's a valid one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
I mean, it's like my whole livelihood. Like, how many
Um,
times a day do you see a post from somebody asking, like, what should I watch next? Eventually, we're going to run out of what to watch next.
No,
I
we're
feel
not.
like it's COVID again. Like, they didn't work during COVID, and they're not working now.
All right. I have a last one.
Okay.
Actually, I have two last ones.
Okay.
I think about Broad City, the show, every single day.
It's so good. Oh, my God.
The hold that these two girls have on my life. And the
don't-
show's been done
I
for
don't
like
have any money.
5 years. Yeah.
Remember that?
With
What's his name?
what's his name?
I don't know,
Armisen.
from Portlandia.
Yeah. Oh, stuff's
Yeah.
amazing. I
Yeah.
have no money.
I have no money.
I'm a baby.
I'm just a little baby.
That's like the most brilliant writing ever. Like, they're so talented. Every time I
Yeah.
watch an episode, since you talk about writer strike, every time I watch a Broad City episode, even now, because that's like my comfort show, I'm just blown away by like how talented the writing is on this show.
Right.
And I know there's other shows like that, but like, just, the whole,
Yeah.
like this show has been over for like, what, 5 years? The hold that this show has on me.
Those two women are easily on my like favorite list
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
I would love to meet you. Yes.
Manifest. Okay.
Yeah. They're watching this. I know you're watching this. You're going to contact Matchmaker Maria, and then we're going to go to dinner. And we're going to have seafood. Shellfish.
Only people who watch Broad City but understand this. Do you have an EpiPen with you?
I don't.
That might be my
but
favorite episode,
Yeah,
by the way.
that was so awesome.
That's such a great
Yeah.
episode. Okay,
Yeah.
and my last one, I think about...
We should say it at the same time. I'll say my last one, and you say your last one. And see
Okay.
if it's the same thing.
Okay,
Okay.
ready?
1,
2,
2, 3.
3.
AI.
IBLP.
Oh,
What?
AI.
I
Yeah.
like that we both said letters.
I know. What did you say?
IBLP.
What is IBLP?
It's a cult
Okay.
that it pretends to be Christianity. But I just think about how like this...
Every day you think about this.
Every day.
How?
Every day. Because it's like this flavor of Christianity that has like permeated into like not only just American culture, But like even my own subculture is Greek American. Like lately, I see like, I used to be in this Facebook group. I got out of it like 2 weeks ago, called Greek Orthodox Moms. And like being Greek Orthodox is like more like a culture than a religion.
Okay.
Like we go to church, there's about a community and all that stuff, right? But that has like that stuff. Like I've seen women post like the IBLP triangle. If you've listened to this podcast,
what does
it's
it
like a whole
stand
thing.
for?
It means like,
What's
IBLP.
Yeah.
I should know this. Hold on.
Oh, you don't even know it.
It doesn't matter.
But you think about it every day and you don't even know what it means.
Institute of Basic Life Principles. It's okay. Ask me again. What does it stand for?
What does it stand? What, you're going to edit this to
Yeah,
make it sound like you know what it meant?
I have an amazing editor.
No, you didn't know what it meant.
Okay.
You think about something every single day that you don't even know what the acronym means.
Institute of Basic Life Principles. Okay. Anyway, so I'm on Greek Orthodox Moms, and like it'll be Halloween. It's like I don't think we should be celebrating Halloween anymore.
What?
And I'm like, where is this coming from? Like,
but who cares? These people, I've never
or
even
like,
heard of them.
Did you?
How many
like,
people have heard
like
of
the
this?
The latest one was like about Barbie. Like, are you allowing your children to see Barbie? It's like Satan's movie. And I go, when did Greek Orthodoxy mean all this? You know, and
but
like,
I wouldn't let my children see Barbie if I had young kids. Like, they're not even going to get it.
You wouldn't allow your 13-year-old daughter to go see Barbie?
Well, 13 is different. Okay,
that's
fine,
what I'm talking
13.
about. I'm not.
But like, what about your daughter?
About,
like, would you? Like, she's not going to get it. She's going to be like,
She's
I want a Barbie.
I'm not taking her to see Barbie. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about like what people are posting and like IBLP, the language they use. It's
right.
Like, even like the homeschooling stuff. And now there's all this other drama right now happening where some German family. So in Germany, you're not even allowed to have like homeschooling. It's against the law.
Wow.
Right. So this family claimed religious prosecution and got like asylum in America. And now they're being deported after so many years because it's like, there's other reasons. I'm like really summarizing here. And I'm just like, wow, like, okay. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just think about this all the time.
Wow. Well, that's insane.
Now, the purpose of this conversation that we're having is to show that we just had a really good conversation if we were dating. Took like 20 minutes.
I don't know that I'd go on a second date with you knowing that you think about nip tuck and boba every single day.
I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah.
But no, like I think what people ask me all the time is like, what should I ask on a first date or a second date or a third date? And maybe what we just did because we know each other, this is like a third date conversation that we're having.
Right.
And this is what I'm constantly promoting is like, stop asking questions on dates. Just go straight into the conversation.
Yeah.
What were you going to say about AI?
Oh, God. I don't know. Is it going to take over the world? You know, AI, I don't know.
Do you think it's going to take over
Chat
the world?
GPT, like all that stuff I think about every single day. And I actually use it every single day. Like, it's so interesting.
How do you use it every day?
You know, when people call in, they do these dating assessment calls or they do strategy calls with me, and they're so amazing. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is, can you help me write an online dating profile? And my response to them has now become, go to Google, type in Chat GPT, and when it comes up, it's going to ask you to ask a question.
I think it's Chat GDP.
GPT.
Oh, excuse me.
It's GPT. I said GPT.
It's GDP. Wait, is it GPT?
It's GPT. Oh my gosh. This is... I'm embarrassed for you.
I'm embarrassed too. And now it's on video.
So I asked them to go to Google,
it.
go to Chat GPT, which I use every day, so I think I know what it is. And then there's a little question thing, and I just say, write me an online dating profile. And then instead of trying to be creative to create your own online dating profile, literally just type in 4 things that you like to do and 4 personality traits that you like. That's it. Just say, write me an online dating profile. Please include, the fact that I like long walks on the beach, that I like hiking, that I like, boating, that I like, whatever. Just whatever you like to do. Cooking.
All you're telling me right now is that I am better right now than this.
What are you talking about?
Because I get asked, I refresh, I take over people's online dating profiles all the time.
No, it's so good. Go to Chat GPT if you're watching this and do this. And you are going to put in the comments that this was incredible. It's going to make you look so good. Like the other day, I was in the car. What were we talking about? My friend Rose she's like, what's Chat GPT? And I'm like, it's the most incredible thing. I'm going to write Thomas's obituary right now. I swear to God, I did this. And so I went to Chat GPT and I put, please write yeah, he was there. He was like, what are you doing? And I said, please write an obituary for Thomas. Please include this. he was a nice guy, blah, blah, blah. And then I got funny and I was like, he learned to wipe his own butt. Like, stuff like that. And then I hit enter and Rose is like rolling her eyes like, yeah. Okay, let's see. And then it came up. And 2 paragraphs of the most eloquently written, beautifully written obituary you've ever read populated in seconds. And she read the whole thing and she was like, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen ever. It was written that well. So anyway, ChatGPT. That's why I think about AI every day, because I talk to people about like, don't waste your time like hiring someone or doing stuff like trying to figure out how to do your profile. You can do it through ChatGPT.
That's literally one of our company's products. What?
No, I understand that, but that's not the main core of the product. Like writing a bio is easy. Like you could just use ChatGPT.
Writing a bio. I mean, I do that for fun.
Yeah, but like
what we do is we take over. The profile. We take over all the dating fatigue. Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what we do when we do that.
But some people can't afford that. So and you and I have one thing in common, and that's that we're always going to do what's best for each person that we speak with. And not everybody can afford to hire us, or not everybody can afford to hire a matchmaker. So we're going to teach them how to do it themselves. Yeah. And I get emails every single week from somebody who did a dating assessment or a dating strategy call that it worked. Yeah. And they actually met somebody. Yeah. And they're so happy and they're so thankful.
So just for anyone listening and anyone watching, because this is on YouTube now, when Louie says dating assessments or dating strategy calls, those are calls that we have at our company where you would book time with Louie. And he will take you through your dating history and audit you basically and figure out what's going on and what can we do under the hood.
Yeah, and what I love about it is we're actually going to give you substance. We're actually going to give you a strategy. I'm not going to tell you, try this or try. I'm going to tell you, this is what you need to do. Right. And you're either going to do it or you're going to waste your money scheduling
and not a single day goes by where we don't get like some awesome email or some awesome text message. I love this. All right. Are you ready to take some questions?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Hi, Matchmaker Maria. My name is Brittany and I'm from Ohio and I'm 35 years old. Here's my question for you. The guy that I'm dating is 44 and has never been married or in a serious relationship over a year. We have been exclusive for 9 months now, boyfriend and girlfriend. I told him I loved him, and he won't say the words back to me. He says it through his actions. Is that a deal breaker? Is he a time thief? Should I break up with him?
I just want to say that I love that we did not hear these questions before.
Yeah.
Because I'm like processing as she's speaking. Did she ever tell us her age?
35.
She's 35.
Yeah, he's 44. She's 35. Dating 9 months, I think.
9 months, yeah. I got that. And that he won't say I love you to her, but he shows it through his actions.
Okay. But I mean, I think, listen, from a male perspective, I think that says a lot. So if he's saying he says it through his actions, in my head, he told her he loved her. She says, I love you. And he says, I'm showing you through my actions. So he's not saying it, but is she feeling it? So I want to know if she's feeling love from him, right? Because that goes a long way. Is she looking to get married and have children? Is that why this is a concern? Because she's 35 and she's wondering if he's a time thief. So basically she's going to spend 2 years with him and then ultimately break up. But I will tell you, statistically, I think the odds of this working out are greater than it not working out. I think.
Why?
Because a 44-year-old man, so long as he wants to have children, does not want to have kids when he's 50. So, and it's been 9 months. So it's a very dangerous situation, really, because if she keeps pressuring him, he's going to run. But if she doesn't press her by like wanting him to reciprocate the words, I love you.
That's not pressure. That's so reasonable.
At 9 months?
Yes, especially 9 months. Shit, if someone didn't say I love you to me within 4 months, no.
You would walk away.
Fuck yeah. If I feel love for you, all right? And I've only felt love for people like 4 times in my life, okay?
Okay.
Like I know who I've said I love you to.
Right.
And I know how long it took. And if they didn't reciprocate it back, you can't just throw that phrase out and not get it back and within a reasonable time. Like it's okay if we're reading the same book, but we're on different chapters. But like, we got to be reading the same book.
Okay, I just need to know if he's thinking marriage and family, or does he not want to have, if he does not want to have kids, then she needs to walk away. I would agree with you.
regardless.
But if he does want to have kids, then she needs to continue to invest in the relationship.
What I noticed when you were
I would
listening
give
to
it
this
1 year.
question was that you would give it a year.
I would give it 1 year. She's already at 9 months. And I
Yeah.
would tell him, honestly.
A year for what, though? To hear I love you back?
Listen, I think that sometimes women are scared to ask a question out of fear of the response.
Because you have
Right.
to take an action with that response.
Right. So I think that this is kind of one of those situations. So she did bring it up, which is great. You know, I give her so much credit for bringing up like, hey, I love you. You haven't said it back to me. But he did say, I do love you. I'm showing you based on my actions.
But she also is expressing that she also needs to hear it. Like, I have been in relationships. I am in a relationship where I say I love you. I hear I love you back, or he says it first. But he also shows me in actions. Both can be true. It's not mutually exclusive. Like, clearly, she's asking, is this a deal breaker? Because it's important to her. It's important to her to get those words back. So I feel like at 35, and you know what's funny is when she said he's 44, he's never been married, you made a face. And now we have a video that you made a face. You were like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Why did you make a face?
Yeah. 44, never married, definitely could be a red flag. Absolutely. Could be like warning sign, right?
Yeah.
However, he responded to her and said, I'm showing you that I love you based on my actions.
Right.
So like had he said, I'll tell you when I'm ready. Right.
Okay.
To me, that would be like a huge red flag. And I would say, okay, well, maybe that's not a good relationship, or maybe you should get out.
Okay.
But if he's saying, I feel like I show you that I love you by my actions, then it's semantics at this point. She needs to hear I love you back.
Yeah. That's valid, though.
It is
Especially
valid.
if
I
you
agree.
say
It is
out loud.
valid.
If you say I love you to someone, they're like, okay, I'm going to get you a cup of coffee. It's not the same.
Well, you know what I'm wondering is what does that look like, right? So
I just wonder
tell
what
me you love
culture
me.
he is.
Tell me you love me.
I love you. I tell you I love you, by
No,
the way, all the
pretend
time.
you're her and you're telling me that you love me. Is this what he does? Say it.
Some men do that, by the way. They go, thank you.
Well, that would at least
That's
it's a
happened to
thank
me
you.
before. I once said I love you to a guy, and he was like, thanks. That felt really good to hear.
Well, tell me you love me.
I love you.
Is that what's happening? Like, I'm wondering what he's saying when she says it. Like, every time she says I love you.
She's probably only said it once.
I was just going to ask that. Has she only said it once?
Yeah. She's probably only said it once. You can't throw it out there and say it again.
I think you need to continue to say it. You need to continue to say it. If you feel it and you want it reciprocated, then you just need to keep saying it. Oh, I love you. Baby, I love you. Baby, I love you. You need to say it a lot, to the point where he's going to either feel uncomfortable or he's going to say it back. That's
I actually kind of like this answer.
Yeah.
I am scared of her dating a time thief. The only thing that I'm wondering, the only thing that I would be like, oh, is I wonder what culture he is. Because there are certain cultures that I have learned over time from our clients and from the single people that we talk to every day, that saying I love you is not like a thing. You know, showing respect is a thing.
Do you know my golden rule?
What's your golden rule?
I have a golden rule.
What is your
On
golden rule?
every single one of my calls, I teach people this golden rule. And I've lived my entire life.
Tell me.
Life based on this golden rule.
Okay.
Okay. And this golden rule, I think everybody incorporates, but they don't incorporate it into dating the way that I think they should. So here it is. This is life changing. So when I'm 80 and they say, what advice would you give yourself if you were 20? I would tell them the golden rule.
Uh-huh.
Here it is. The more you have to lose with any situation, the less risk you're going to take. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to lose it.
Right.
However, the opposite rule applies. Meaning, if you have nothing to lose, then you should risk it all every time.
Okay.
Color outside the lines. Do something that's completely unconventional.
Okay.
Because you have nothing to lose.
All right.
She has nothing to lose. Tell him I love you 3 times a day. Really,
That's
say it a lot. I don't care. Like, you have nothing to lose.
If she feels
If
this
she
way.
thinks he's a time thief, then you have nothing to lose. Spend the next 3 months, because I think that'll take you to the year, coloring outside the lines. Right? Follow Louie's golden rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope she calls in a few months and tells us what happened.
She's going to call in and say that she's engaged. I don't know. That's what I'm going to manifest
Or she
for you.
broke up with an emotionless time thief.
No, I'm going to manifest the opposite because I want everyone to fall in love and to meet their
Okay,
partner.
don't make it seem like I don't want that for people either.
No,
okay?
I
Like,
know.
what?
You're a realist, though. I mean, chances are that could happen. Yes. Right. But
I just feel like his reply is a cop out, right? Because she clearly wants to hear it back.
he's 44 and never married. Clearly, he has issues. There are clear issues that he has to really figure out. Right? That's true. Am I going to get hate mail for this? But I don't care. I mean, it's true. 44 years old, never married, no kids.
With
a woman
men,
tells
you
you, a
mean.
woman that you've been dating for 9 months, you're not going to spend 9 months with a woman that you don't care about. There's no way. I don't care. I don't care what guy you are. There's no guy that's going to spend 3 months with a woman they don't like.
Right, 100%.
So he's with you for 9 months. The more that I talk out loud to you about this, the more I'm convinced that he really likes you. And maybe he's just not emotionally evolved to the point where he can tell you he loves you yet. You know, that could be a hard thing. You also don't know his past dating experiences. You don't know his history. You know, maybe he got hurt.
Oh, I can't wait for the hate mail for this one. Let's go to the next question. Oh, it's a video question.
Oh my God, no way.
Hey Matchmaker Maria, my name is Mishiko and I am a 34-year-old traveling occupational therapist, and I almost forgot to send you this video because I have been on the road. As you can see, my car is packed to the brim. But my question for you is in regards to dating as a traveling professional. Do you have any advice on how to meet other single people who are also looking for something long-term and to settle down? Ideally, I would love to meet someone who works remote or who also could travel with me because I don't want to stop doing travel therapy anytime soon. But if I meet someone who, I end up like needing to settle down in the city with, like, that's fine as well. I am okay with using dating apps, but I'm a little weary just because I am a single female living alone in unfamiliar areas and I wouldn't have anyone to help me vet these people out. But again, okay with using them. If you have any advice on that, to help me with that would be great. But yeah, so advice for dating as a traveling professional. Looking forward to hearing your response. Thank you.
This is such an amazing question. I get this question all the time. And sometimes I feel like I know how to answer it. And other times I'm like, wow, this is really tough. So for those who cannot see the video that she sent us, she took this video in her car, and the backseat of her car has her entire closet.
Right.
And she's a traveling occupational therapist. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
And the cool thing about these medical traveling professions is they make money. Do you know this?
Yeah, they make a lot of money.
They make a lot of money.
But does she live in her car?
No, she's probably traveling. No, she doesn't live in her car.
Well, how do you know this? I think she lives in her car. I mean, nobody has that much clothes on a hanger.
She might be going to her next gig. I don't know. You're right, but I don't think she lives in her car.
Comments will tell us if she lives in her car.
No, she does not live in her car.
How do you know?
I don't know. I'm just going to assume, okay? If she lived in her car, she would tell us I live in my car. I'm homeless. Houseless.
She did
Homeless.
not say it.
All right. Let's just
Okay.
assume that she has a house and that she's going from one place to another. Airbnbs, yes. So, this is really tough. This kind of reminds me, and it's like funny because people, I think, my take on this is that I think people, when they have these traveling professions, they get so stuck on like, who's going to want to travel with me? And I'm going to need someone who's a remote worker to move cities with me. When I think it's the reverse, right? Like if I pretended that she was a congresswoman for a second, which means that half the time she's in DC and the other half she's in her hometown, that she represents, this district that she represents, she would find someone who might actually live in the district that she lives in. And she just happens to be away 3 days a week.
I don't know that she lives in a district. I feel like she's a traveling occupational therapist
who lives 3 months
who lives
away.
3 months
yeah.
in different cities. She doesn't have like a primary residence.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
That's the feeling I got.
Thank you
from
for
it.
saying that.
She
out
also
loud.
doesn't look homeless. I was trying to be funny, so no hate comments for that. But I will say that she could live in her car, but she did look very, very well put together.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
So,
So do you think she should stick to remote workers?
I am not convinced that she's really ready for a serious long-term commitment-minded relationship based on her traveling occupational therapy job. She loves to hop from city to city to city. And I do sincerely, with all respect, do think that it's a little bit unrealistic to try to pursue a long-term commitment-minded relationship with somebody that works remote, that wants to go
There's no
on,
control over where they go.
you know, 3-day drives to the next job for you. That, you know, that's a very unstable life. Like, I feel there needs to be a little more stability when it comes to having a relationship. You know, I'm so curious as far as like, what are her relationship goals? Does she want to get married? Does she want to have kids? If she doesn't want to have kids, then it's fine. You know, continue down this path. If she does want to have kids, she may want to consider settling in the city that she likes the most
Right.
for like a year, just to see if she can, like, you know, meet someone, pursue a relationship, get engaged, get married, and then make a decision on what to do next in her, you know, career. But she may be pregnant by that point. So
I always wonder, like, how, I mean, I agree with you, right? I think that if you are looking for a relationship, you have to have the environment that a relationship can be cultivated in.
Right.
And I know some people might say stuff like, well, military families do it all the time. Yeah, military families aren't moving every 3 months.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of support for, you know, spouses on. So it's a different environment, you know.
But most military families, like, men are based at a specific base.
Or women.
And there's women. And the people that they're dating know this.
Right.
And they know that it's probably a traveling life, right?
Right.
Versus, like, she's
currently
in a very rare position, traveling occupational therapy. How many of those do you know? I don't know any.
I only know one.
I know traveling nurses, you know, kind of the
Yeah.
same thing, same concept, but it's tough. That's a tough life. What I love about it is that I think she has the ability to now really get a feel for dating in each city that she's in.
Yeah.
You know, so if she's in a city for 2 or 3 months per job, then she can really take some time to, like, invest in the dating life in those cities, because it's different depending on where you're dating.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that if she eventually met somebody that she really liked, she should just at least consider settling down in that city if she meets someone that looks like she could pursue, like, a long-term commitment-minded relationship leading to marriage.
I like it.
So
I like that. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
We won't get
And
canceled.
if you're leaving in 3 weeks and you know where you're going, start searching before you get there.
I always say start the search anytime someone's moving to a different city or even traveling to a different city. I always say start the search 7 days ahead.
Right.
That way you can start lining up dates. All right, we've got our last question.
Okay.
Hi, Matchmaker Maria.
Oh.
My name is Nikki, and I'm from Boston, and I'm 48. My question for you is, do you think there is an age difference that's too much? There's a guy who I've gone on a date with, and there's a 12-year age difference. What do you think?
Higher or lower?
Yeah, exactly my thought.
Let's answer both.
Yeah, if it's 12 years younger,
Get that.
I mean,
48?
then don't expect a commitment. Like, it's great. I love it. Have fun. Maybe you're going through a hoe phase. That's awesome. But I am not convinced that 12 years younger would be 36, that a 36-year-old man will end up with a 48-year-old woman.
Statistically speaking.
Statistically, right.
Yeah.
It happens, of course. There's
It
an
happens.
exception to every rule.
Sure. But statistically speaking, I hope the sex is great.
Yeah.
Okay, what if it's 12 years bigger?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Older.
And then 12 years bigger is always better.
12 years older, excuse me.
Yes, 12 years older. Yeah, great. I don't see the issue.
It's funny that a 48-year-old woman is asking this question, because usually that question of, like, what age gap is too big is from our women that are 24 years old who are like, I just started talking to a 40-year-old. Is that too old? And I'm like, might be. Depends on what kind of life you want and why is he talking to you.
Right.
You're not as mature as he's making it seem. You're probably
Right.
acting like a 24-year-old, which is fine. 24-year-olds, many of them are mature.
Yeah, I don't ever think that a 24-year-old should meet a 40-plus-year-old because I feel like they're going to wake up at 32 feeling like they never had the opportunity to experience what it was like, you know, to be with other men.
Dating someone that's not taking Rogaine.
Yeah. Viagra. Yeah.
It's such different generations, by the way. And it happens. Like, we recently met at work, a man at work who wanted to hire us. He was my age, so he was 38 years old, and he wanted to meet women 18 to 22. You remember this?
I don't know.
And I don't think he said this to you on the phone, but when I got him on Zoom, he said this to me. And I was like, why do you want to meet women that young? And he's like, well, I feel like I'm young. I'm like, you are young. You're 38. I am young. I am 38. But I don't have anything in common with an 18-year-old. Like, I look at 18-year-old men. I'm like, woo. You know,
Right.
like, I mean, Ben Shelton is cute. But he's like a tennis player. Like, he's on my TV.
Right.
And he's, what, 19? So I'm allowed to say that. But I'm not going to date him.
Good.
You know.
Overall, 48-year-old woman, I can't imagine that you're looking to have children.
Maybe she is.
Maybe you are. I mean, we do speak to women 48 that want to have kids. But if you're not looking to have children, then you go, girl. Like, you just...
Both sides is great.
Yeah, both sides is great. Have fun. Enjoy it. If it turns into something great. And if it doesn't, just be prepared.
I mean, if she's dating older, he's 60. And that means he's 5 years away of giving you a really nice life, a retirement life. Hopefully he's got his finances in order and you can like have an early retirement at 50.
Yeah, or maybe you're going to support a 36-year-old your whole life. I don't know. Yep. You have nothing to lose. The golden rule. Have fun. Go at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify. We did not take that 30-year-old man.
No.
Who wanted to date a very young woman.
Right.
With an underdeveloped frontal lobe. To get clinical.
Or newly developed frontal lobe for
it's
the 30-year-old.
Not fully developed until they turn 25.
Yeah, so for the 30-year-old, newly developed.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, well, hey, thank you for joining me on the first episode of season 4 in the studio. I'm so excited. Do you like the sign?
I love it's all amazing. It's all so beautiful.
Pretty.
I don't even realize that there's cameras on us, right? Like it's just so natural. This is so great. Super inviting. And
so if you want to talk to Louie, there are links in the show notes where you can book time with him to speak to him. If you want to do a dating assessment, a dating strategy, if you want to just waste his time,
Don't do that.
It's all there. Show notes, link to him. And of course, if you want to work with my team, again, you have to talk through Louie. So that link is going to take you all things. And of course, if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you on an upcoming episode. I'm going to see you in a couple episodes again for Hotline.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I end this? I always end it with be lovable, but more importantly, be likable. See you next week.